No. No. No, don't make me do that. Do not make me think
No.
of the one fiercely, you know, duty duty bound, strict, stoic, by the book character was
But
so that he could do his machinations without suspicion. Don't you gonna hurt my feelings, man? If Zavala's not good, none of us are.
well, maybe. They're saying there's a character that's about to, is about to have a significant change, and I don't know who it is. But
You wanna go down the list?
right? Let's think about all the obvious choices. Um,
Banshee, of course. I mean,
we have Eris.
well,
We have Eris,
oh,
right? Who has been, she's been reading all this darkness stuff, and she's definitely the most susceptible to it. We've been reading what she's been thinking all this entire time. And when she sends her report to the Vanguard, she says we're privy to her reports, and then we're privy to what
yeah,
she's
because
thinking too. Because she
I think
writes
Eris
that
is
down.
self-aware enough to know how a lot of this messaging can be interpreted. And because she has
Yeah.
everyone's ear for the first time in ever, she really doesn't want to she
Mhm.
really doesn't want to create any situation that validates their beliefs. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
she's purposely omitting things that feed into anyone's paranoia. Because she finally has
Right.
everybody. Like Zavala is going down there saying, "All right, what's up?" So I can kind of get
Mhm.
the two
Right.
interpretation thing. Because the deeper and more complex things are like, yeah, nah, we can't get caught up in arguing about this stuff. There's a pyramid here now. So
Yeah.
indeed, though, that's just I always read it that way.
So Eris. We have Eris, and we know that because of what we've seen with her, and because of the way that she's thinking about certain things, she's definitely the most susceptible, right? So there's her, and there's also the Drifter, who I don't think is as obvious a choice as you might say it is, because we already know he can't be trusted, but I feel like he's too much into self-preservation. Like his whole thing was, I know there's something coming, and I want to have a, I want to have a plan to make sure that I'm okay.
All right, I get that.
Like,
Can I add a side note? I wouldn't say that calling the Drifter
yeah,
untrustworthy is the same as calling him malicious. I don't think the Drifter is evil, or I don't think he has ill intent. He's just untrustworthy because he has
hmm
demonstrably proven that he sees the world as,
hmm
eat or be eaten, not because he himself is
yeah,
that kind of person, but because he's seen the world be that way. So while it's not
hmm
while it's not inherently malicious, it is very self-serving, and like you just said, he will preserve himself,
hmm
he will save himself if it means he'll leave you behind if it means saving himself. He won't not leave you a rope, but if
yeah,
he knows that picking you up is gonna kill him, he'll leave you the rope. He'll protect. He wants
yeah,
to live, and he'll save you as long as it doesn't kill him. So yeah, I get that. When the chips are down, the Drifter
hmm
chooses the Drifter, and it's not anything personal. It's
right,
just just business. So we got two
yeah.
characters that can have a proclivity
So,
to evil, but aren't necessarily evil characters.
right,
All right, all right.
right. So there's them, and then there's
Oh,
Shaq,
Shax, I'm worried about.
who, as we learned, has been hearing Savathun's song
Shax, I'm actually worried about.
because he's got an Ahamkara skull right up there in his
And it's been a
area.
very long time. That story about when he got that skull is a
hmm
very, very, very long time ago, and we don't know how that corruption stuff
hmm
works. So if something has been working its way into, like, if something's been working its way into everybody, there's a pretty good, like, chance to, argue that it's probably wormed its way into Shaxx the most. And the fact that he is so blissfully unaware of anything or not feeling anything is twice as worrying.
Yeah.
Because at least if he had symptoms, we could do something. It's like looking at a bomb waiting for it to go off.
Yeah, no.
I love Shaxx. But I don't want him to, like, his neck will start
too.
twitching and then he headbutts me. I don't know how I feel about that. What are these people doing? Jesus. Following me, you crab ass.
So there's him.
I'm near zone
right?
A.
And then we have, okay. And then we have, let me see, who else?
I'm not being ironic when I say Banshee. Because
You think
I think Banshee can be corrupted. Not so much personality type, but I think he can be. I think he's not incorruptible. And if he were taken or, used against us, that would be a pretty powerful blow. I could say the same thing about, Rahul. I'm considering everybody because it does seem like we're building up to some sort of divide in the world we've built so far. And everybody's going to have to choose a side at some point.
So, an interesting side would be, like, how about Osiris?
Osiris especially. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, even people we don't dabble with all that much, Osiris has unusual access to, like, reading the darkness. He was a Thanatonaut, so he, like Oryx and his sister, like, they know what it's like to kill themselves in order to achieve higher power. And unfortunately for Osiris, possibilities just drive him crazier than he already is. So, yeah. But Osiris has also demonstrably shown that if he believes something, he does not care if you cast him out. He will pursue it.
Yeah, no, he's all... He will. And I didn't know this until I read it somewhere recently, but apparently when he went in the, what do you call it, in the Forbidden Forest, he knew that Saint 14 was following him, and he specifically didn't want him to find him because he knew he would bring him back to the tower, and he wanted to be where he was. So, you know how he, like, separates himself and, like, throws echoes?
He bamboozled Saint
echoes
14
or, like,
into death.
Yeah.
Dark ass characters.
Well, not into
Dark asses.
Kind of, sort of. Like, he was just trying to, like, throw him up.
Yeah, but you know.
Like, he
You know what happened to Saint 14, though.
Right. Right. Like, Saint 14 went in there looking for him. Specifically. He wanted to bring him back. And he was like, no, I'm not ready to go back. Go chase that thing that...
Wow. I don't want you to bring me back. Spent a couple of centuries fighting Vex. Centuries.
But he didn't know how lost he was at, He didn't realize that he would end up chasing this, pretty much chasing him.
Can I hit pause? Can I hit pause for 1 second? That is why that's the difference between considerate and inconsiderate. Are you telling me that Osiris assumed that Saint 14, the Titan of Legend, the Kellbreaker of Six Fronts, Saint 14 is the kind of guardian that wouldn't look for Osiris until he found him, no matter what? I mean, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. He did not leave. Of course Saint 14 wouldn't leave.
Exactly what...
If Osiris bamboozled him, it's because, hey, he's going to wander the infinite forest forever, but at least they won't find me. He literally put him in a time loop to deter him. And while that's very clever, it's also very mean. It's
5 minutes.
like when the Saul brothers,
Yeah,
he
he
weaponizes Jimmy's goodness against him. That's basically what Osiris did. He weaponized Saint 14's loyalty
basically.
and
Yeah.
dedication to him as an individual. He weaponized it against him and killed him. And he didn't
Yep.
intentionally kill him.
He did.
I don't
He
think,
weaponized
maybe wandering the forest infinitely might have been on his mind, which is so kind of mean. But
It, I mean, that's not supposed.
that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. Again, that's not what was supposed
No.
to happen. He wasn't supposed to be wandering
No.
around forever. But apparently, he lost track of him, and then he started looking for him, and
That's
he never
insane.
found him.
Some
So,
Insane.
yeah. So his guilt was real. His guilt was.
I would have.
It was not.
I would have felt that way too.
Yeah. Like how he was like. Yeah, that's why he built the sundial. That's why he did all
It's
of
like
that.
you don't look at your ride or die and say, "Yeah, you might as well die, fool." Like, damn, no. He's literally your ride or die titan.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, so yeah, Osiris is definitely on the board as far as darkness proclivity.
Osiris
Again, not out of an evil way, but definitely out of a, if this is the power I need to acquire, I'm going to do it.
Then
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's a
So
lot of
there's
darkness people so
Osiris.
far.
And then Zavala.
you captured zone.
Well, I feel like
Zone advantage is
Ikora.
yours. All of you together, like iron balls.
I don't have anything. on that.
Ikora.
I feel like if she had been part of any of the recent storylines,
Zone C
I would have been like,
falls.
oh well, she said this, but they literally signed her. They just
They
sidelined
did,
her.
but I'll say as far as her personality goes, Ikora is very. Ikora does not seem unwavering in her faith of anything she currently believes. Ikora is all about the Vanguard and all about humanity, and whatever happens to currently be threatening it at the moment.
Captured.
She pays attention to the Vex,
Mhm.
but I feel like the Vex are so low on our list of concerns right now that she's more of a, no matter what happens, it's going to be with the Vanguard. So I consider her fiercely light.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not even a hint of that, like not even a chance. I feel like Zavala would probably do it before Ikora ever did.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Zavala and why he seems like a strong choice is, I mean,
Hit me.
he, if you read some of the stuff that he has written, that's supposed to be from his perspective, like, he says stuff like, or some of the stuff he says, it's like, well, he says stuff like, the Traveler has been sitting up there for a while, and, if there's nothing it can do
Wow.
for us, then we need to do
That's
it
crazy,
ourselves.
boo. It's crazy that self-awareness is actually it's weird that self-awareness is such a surprising trait when it crops up in Guardians. Self-awareness,
Yeah.
like what humans
Yeah,
have.
and someone like Zavala,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, like he said stuff like this a couple of times. He's like, well, the Traveler, it's alive now, but, we can't sit here and wait until it does something. We're gonna have to do this.
He's all about humanity. He's all about them peeps.
And yeah, he's all about humanity. He's not about to be like he's very.
He dipped on his people for
pragmatic
humanity.
when it comes to.
Remember, you told me that like when you leave the reef, it's like bye. Like you ain't coming, you can't come back.
Yeah, but he did that when he was awoken, not when he became a guardian after he died.
Yeah, I'm like,
so yeah,
he's
right.
like that
In a
kind
way,
of
you're right.
person. Like he's all about protecting the last vestiges of
He's that
these
kind of
creatures. So much so that he knew he estranged his people to do it because he felt it was ultimately better for the whole planet. because he realizes if you lose Earth,
That's
fuck, they're going to go to the reef next. They're eventually going to reach you guys. You
yeah.
can't do this. You can't be Wakanda of space.
Yeah, that's why.
Space
That's
Wakandans.
why when if you're an awoken guardian and you go talk to Petra, she calls you cousin.
Or brother. Or no, I'm sorry. The what's his face calls you
Or,
brother.
yeah.
Some of the people out in the field. Like when you pick up little missions, remember in the Dreaming City,
Yeah.
it's people instead of beacons. Yeah, they'll do the same thing.
Use everything in your power
Yeah,
to fight and prevail.
yeah, cousin, because it's understood that if you're a guardian and awoken, then that means that you're one of the awoken that left
Ah,
the
that's
reef.
dope.
Now
I didn't
you're a
know that.
guardian.
Opponent claims zone C.
So yeah.
Why do I feel like I learned one thing new about the? Wow, gosh, hard light for days. Why do I feel like I learned something new about the Awoken every week, even if I'm not playing it?
You've lost.
Can you, yo?
Opponent claims zone B.
I'm about to lose my mind over here. These people are sticking together. Why are you playing like a team? Be noobs. You're Australian. Be Australian. I just feel weird about it because I can always tell when I'm playing against people that are team shooting because it's a viable strategy and people that are team shooting because they just want to scrape up the assists. Like there's always a difference. And these people, some of these people are just sticking together so they can have a buffer for their bad aim.
Advantage is yours.
Like it's very obvious shenanigans are afoot. Like I'm getting smoke bombs and grenades thrown at me at the same. It's just goofy. It's just it's goofy. That's what people in Chicago say, man. You a goofy. They just being goofy up in here. Oh gosh, bullets are coming around corners. The hard light is still meta. What do we do to this galaxy? Okay, but back to the awakens. Back to the awakenings. What do you think about? All right, so what about Eva 1? That's a Bray right there, and we about to Bray the whole story up. The Elsies, the Annas, about to Bray it up this season.
You
Yeah,
mean
Ada 1 from the Black Armory.
or
Ada 1.
Ada 1.
She still won.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because the whole thing with her is she's all about, preserving the heritage of
Bray family?
of
I know the Black Armory because they have powerful weapons that they don't share
Black
with the
Armory.
They very reluctantly helped us apparently.
Yeah. So yeah. So she's not gonna be helping the dark like what? Basically that would be and saying her responsibility is to something.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I still can't believe she's won. I think she'd be rampant or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, rampancy.
pretty amazing that she's Ada 1 because that means she remembers the collapse.
And she held it down regardless.
And she held it
She
down.
lived through the
Yeah.
collapse. Who does
Yeah.
that besides Rasputin? I mean, that's a valid question.
People like Cade kind of remembers some of it because he wrote it down. Like he
knew the cheat code.
He doesn't really remember. He wrote it down, and so he kind of knows what happened.
I knew it was Fall Winters. Well, yeah, that's true. Cade is clever,
Do you?
so he knew what was up. What about what's his face
Yeah.
then? Excuse me. Sorry. How about our allies outside though? Asher, Sloan.
Asher?
Mhm. Asher, Sloan. The Spider is his own political party,
I
so
wouldn't. The yeah.
the Tangled party. You have to pay for the jerky just to get in. You gotta get the jerky before they let you.
Zone A captured. 2 zones are yours.
You really do, though. I had to pay $50,000 for that jerky per character. I know, right? You can't do 0 hour unless you get the jerky. You gotta get that jerky. It's like $50,000. Now I can get the last wish. I mean, the last word. Why can't we eat the jerky?
Zone A lost.
Hey, you know, there's a recipe for jerky.
Why didn't I
in
know?
the book.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Evil Levante, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to do this to your cookbook in real life.
5 minutes remain.
I just...
Zone B captured. You have the advantage. Press on.
No one kitchen should have all that power.
Captured Zone A. The fires are
By the way, what are we
Find
drinking
your
right
way
now?
and end them.
No. I do believe that Cade's favorite drink, as evidenced in the original Destiny 2 trailer, that green drink that he was having. Yeah, no, it doesn't mean he's a fan of Fortnite. He was getting his health back up after a strike. Or no, okay. As it turns out, the Ace of Spades is not only just his favorite gun, but it is also
Zone A captured.
a cocktail
Is yours.
of epic proportions. Good God.
It is
It
a
has like
cocktail.
5 different liquors in it. Only the man eating the spicy ramen noodles, breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be able to tolerate this drink.
Zone A lost.
So I totally believe it. I mean, he does literally have an iron stomach, so hey.
Captured Zone C. You have the advantage. Press
Yeah.
on.
How you like it?
It's very sweet.
Are you feeling more witty and sardonic by the minute? Because I kind of am. I feel like my jokes got better as soon as I took like the first sip.
Zone B.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I feel like Prince. I feel like this is a limited commodity that I should like sip for like a few weeks. It is really nice though.
You captured Zone
Do like it.
A. Zone advantage is
It's
yours.
very nice. It's very sweet. It kind of reminds me of a spiked. It's kind
A
of
spiked
like
Kool-Aid?
spiked fruit, like fruit
Okay,
punch.
yeah. I was getting like Hawaiian punch vibes at first,
3 minutes
and then the 5 liquors put their
Yeah,
rings
yeah.
together and hit me right in the temple. And I said, "Oh, okay. I like the sleight of hand. Now I see why it's named after a card." Like that, it really hit me. Like Izanagi's was very upfront. You know, the tincture was so sweet. Just looking at it gave me a touch of diabetes. But you know, kind of like the rogue character he is. I went in expecting one thing, and yeah, he tilted his head and shot me with flavor. With flavor.
With flavor. I was expecting it to be more
Really?
bitter. I don't know why, even because it's got so much fruitiness in it. You know.
He did balance it out with like 10 liquors.
Zone C captured.
He was like, "This drink is gonna be fruity, but not the mixing
But the
process." Throw your hardest liquors into my shaker. Can you imagine what the bartender probably rolls his eyes every? He's like, "Oh god, not again."
Oh my god.
They have to
so many
stock in those. But I kind
Yeah.
of want to make it. I kind of want to make it again, but it is clearly like a proceed with caution. I mean, it is the color of absinthe. And you gave it to me in a mason jar, so it looks especially dangerous. But it's really nice. I really dug it. I need your ice cubes so that they don't like, you know, that the drink doesn't eat it alive for the egregious crime of sitting down for 5 minutes.
Yeah, my ice cubes. Even they drink. I mean, even they get kind of melty after a minute.
And that is why this is a Cade 6 drink. His drink is literally transcending advanced ice science. The people that worked on that cube for as long as they did not account for Cade 6.
They did not account for Kate Six.
That's serious. We watched like 2 movies in that, and one of those things didn't melt. How?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm terrified.
I don't know. I feel like it's yeah. So yeah, very very fruity. Um.
Are you joking? Oh, Crucible Survival. Yeah, not today. What up, though?
I'm having so much fun with the book. Like, there's so much in there.
There's a lot in it to enjoy. I mean, it's got lore on every single. I mean, the names of the food are so recognizable, and then they've all got lore and like little world building pieces attached to them. So they're fun to make and read. But what is the Did the Ace of Spades tell you
Yeah.
something about Cade you didn't know before? Like anything about Ace or his previous life, or he's a very nostalgic person.
No, he is, but it's from Eva
Oh,
Levante's
God.
perspective.
Levante's farm remembers.
The entire book, it's like her cookbook, literally. So the entire book, it's what she thinks about everyone.
I'm gonna do that.
She actually says that you're gonna.
I have a handwritten cookbook. I'm about to start putting deep lore in my cookbook. Made this on Thursday.
You should.
Jessica
oh
made a
my
face, but as soon as she looked away, I knew she liked it. I'm gonna write deep lore around like scrambled eggs. I didn't tell her today, but I put the pineapple in the egg.
God. And I just stopped walking.
Oh god. I made her egg in a wok today.
Zone C captured.
I know this sounds gross, but bear with me. Oh, nope.
Zone B captured. Zone
That'll be that's pretty funny. So I feel like Eva has such a great relationship with everybody. She's tower mom.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Zone C lost.
You get that impression from her about him?
Absolutely. Well, not. She's not.
Like you scamp.
Yeah. No.
Zone A captured. You have.
Yeah, like she's
Press
just,
on.
even though she's Tower Mom, she's like friendly with everyone.
Well, I mean, who?
Zone B lost.
Listen, who do you put respect on aside from the person who's dabbling in all your food? Piss off Eva Levante. You don't know what's gonna end up in your noodles.
Noodle. Yeah.
Like, all right, I got your tincture for you. Okay, so I got a team that is basically running around 3-2, with one weird variable that just keeps popping up between the groups. So they're just, that team shooting thing that team shooting people do. I got 2 poison people on A, and I can't go back out there. I'm only one purple ranger with
Zone A lost.
just no resilience because I had to stick it all into mobility.
Okay.
Zone C
I
captured.
can't not do it when you've got your gear at tier 10. Your dodge recharges every 9 seconds. I can't not be about my ability life as a hunter. One guy at the end with a bomb. Probably somebody coming from B because they're taking it now. So we got the hill here at A, and B is going to come in. So in the interest of not being sandwiched, I'm going to go to B.
Okay.
Defended it already. All right, I got you, fool. I'm going to use the obvious flank. I love the obvious flank. It's my favorite flank. Yeah, this alleyway, like everybody expects you to go down those stairs, and I don't know why, man. I mean, if I want to be a fish in a bucket, let's play VR chat, man. Don't insult me like that. Don't do that. I like bows. but I have never felt more
too.
flaccid as a human being and as a male when I just tap the right trigger and it literally goes nowhere. It just, I feel like there should be a Price is Right noise or something attached to every bow that doesn't get drawn.
Extended your lead. I'm not surprised. Zone A captured.
It's just bad. The bow goes nowhere.
This time.
It just goes. I just feel bad. Like I feel like I need the light Cialis.
Make your enemy
It's just not, you know.
The light.
Just my heavy attacks just aren't as heavy as they used to be, you know. Starting to get heavy anxiety.
let the wolves rest. The hunt is over.
Is that a super? Holy shit! I love supers. Ah, get away from me! Don't
Exactly.
tread on me. I'm gonna go to B. They're probably gonna take C. I've got a machine gun, so I got a little bit of life expectancy on me, but I could use help. Because I think two
Okay.
people are coming this way. You got marked,
Alright.
dude. He did get marked. I saw him. Mark ass trick.
Zones
Mark
Yes.
asterisk.
Mark ass trick. You know what?
advantage is yours.
You can't unironically ask what a mark ass trick is because that makes you a mark. That's how black
Is
people
that
call
it?
people posers, dear. That's what a mark is. You a mark, man. You yeah, like you ain't about it. You know. You're not in any gangs or anything like that.
I'm
I don't
not.
know. Are you? Are you about that life?
Well, no.
Then why do you sound so offended? Do you want to be about that life? You want syrup sandwiches
No, but I didn't
and
realize,
glimmer crime allowances?
didn't realize that being a mark ass trick. was
Well, I
a
mean,
thing.
do you? I mean, if you're not part of that life, why would you even want to pretend? You know, I mean,
No, I would not. I would definitely not want to pretend. You're correct.
I would love to perpetuate a lifestyle that might end with me getting shot in the face. What are you talking about? Aspirational,
Definitely not.
aspirational face shooting.
Hashtag goals.
Hey, listen, okay? To a gang member, everything's a gang. The Vanguard is a gang. The Nine.
The Vanguard is.
The Nine are a very mysterious gang. Like nobody knows the intent of the Nine, so it's like, what? You can't say we're bad. Yeah, we can't say you're good either. But we give people powers that bind them to your rules. Hey, look, man, everybody has a boss, right? It's like they have an answer for everything. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't trust them.
You captured Zone A.
That and the emissary. Every time the emissary says anything, it worries me because like she toes the line between agency and servitude. She talks about how powerful she's become and how omniscient she's become and the things that she sees and hears as a result of this. And then at the same time, she seems to reinforce the fact that she could just be put out to pasture at any moment and replaced with a better model.
Rest.
That doesn't really speak that like those are two really conflicting sides. Like either you've transcended humanity or you've bound yourself to something that may or may not be eating you or will eat you should it need to. It's like a worm.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because if you read the lore on her,
That was so salty. What a dick move.
Victory is yours.
she seems to remember all her lives.
Every time I hear that, all it makes me think, and I hate thinking it, but all it makes me think is that, yeah, you know, the fact that the Traveler gives you a clean slate so that you choose purpose or is cool. But the fact that people then lose purpose if they just fall out of it, if they fall out of it for any reason, they just lose their purpose. But people who seem to align with the darkness or anything but the light get some kind of benefit that informs them as a person, whether it be, you know, remembering their old selves or being self-aware or, you know, like they gain something that's inherent to humanity or being human. Your agency, your perspective, your ability to decide, period. These are things
Yeah.
that seem outside of the light, which is weird. 'Cause I don't like talking about the Traveler like that, unless I'm making fun of the Shard. You want to run and do a Nightfall, or I don't want to deadlock you into Iron Banner.
Yeah. Let's
Have you
do
like
that.
have you putting like dozens of legendaries on Katie's back? Is there a recipe for Katie? Did we miss the opportunity to have a dessert called Postmates? It'd be like a banana split or something. She didn't get a recipe, did she? The hardest
No.
working postal bot in show business gets no love. She doesn't even get a cookie. They don't even have an honorary cookie for the one person making sure your Izzy-Anagi's burden, or if you got that La Monarch drop and couldn't carry it. That's Katie out there, man. Just doing the Lord's work. We're gonna have to bake her a cake or something. That poor robot has been doing this for like 6 years and just nobody's giving her like not even an oil change. You know she stands in one place. You don't see her moving around, right? Yeah. They don't,
That's true.
cutting on operating costs by just giving her like Astroglide or something. Said what? There's like 10 boxes of it
man.
here. Yeah, well, I wonder why, Zavala. During the collapse, you think the first thing they went for? We made it. All right. It's like, no, that's not it. All right, I'm gonna tell you. Unstoppable and Overload. Enhanced damage from melee. So don't get hit.
Oh, okay.
And don't get close to big things for too long if you're not gonna block, because the knockback's increased.
Okay.
So, she who
Okay.
falls with style. Be careful in them streets. They're gonna be hitting us like cartoon baseball players. Because the Nightfall, the ordeal this week is the Lake of Shadows. You know, the one that ends with a literal taken cabal in a small arena. So you may just go flying out of the side of that tank. I won't rule it out. He's gonna stomp the ground and send us like to the Shadow Realm. And it was preparing early expectations. You know. And if you want, I can LFG 0 hour. D is sidetracked by inescapable matters. But I did put an LFG. I can put an LFG out though.
No worries.
Hit
Yeah,
this
sure.
button.
Let's give it a shot.
So, are we still hitting the Darkness Avengers list, or are we tying into something else from there? I feel like we got everybody that's like, in the conversation.
I think we got everybody, and I think Zavala to talk
That scares me.
You know,
Like, what? Like if he agreed?
So I guess we'll
Like if he had
find out.
agreed with whatever Eris says, or
Yeah,
okay,
like-
that makes sense.
Well, yeah, he's not agreeing. It's just she thinks that there's someone, according to this data mine, she thinks that there's somebody in the Vanguard or, as part of our, team that's not on the up and
What
up.
if it was Saladin?
And, the discussion... Really? You think that... Oh,
Okay,
it could be Saladin. Because he could be salty.
Not
about
even because he
Rasputin.
could be salty about Rasputin, dear, but remember, like Anakin Skywalker, fear of loss, resentment, anger, despondence. These are things that Saladin has in spades because he lost everyone he cared about, at the same exact time, and holds himself responsible for being unable to save them. And I mean, if anyone needed purpose or something to fight for or a family, or even if he were led to believe that, this could course correct it in any way, shape, or form, I feel like he'd be emotionally vulnerable enough to take some kind of offer, because the opening of Rise of Iron shows you. My man wakes up every morning, feeds the wolves, turns on the lights, all 9 torches inside, goes outside, and stands guard. Like people are just climbing the cable cars to go to Mount Falmouth, but he stands guard every morning. I don't know if something came up to me and said, "Hey, man, how would you like a new family?" And we won't let a murderous warmind get rid of you. And then he goes, "Wait, what?" A murderous what? Oh, you mean Fellwinter? Yeah,
like
satellites used to drop on him all the time. And you're like, no. Oh God, I don't want to find out. This is gonna be horrible. But what were you gonna say? Zavala's about to kill us all. Oh God.
I feel like it really is important. It would have been great to know, or at some point, it will be great to know.
The only sin.
How he feels about the whole thing with Fellwinter. And
I think we'll find out.
Like, is that?
I mean, I feel like, and I'm glad you would have to. I would have loved to have heard it earlier too, but that sounds like something that would need its own season to develop. That shouldn't be the B plot of any season. Like, yeah, because that's a life. That's a story and life warping event. Like, the true nature of the Iron Lord's disappearance. That's deep, because you truly don't know what he's capable of. You've seen how he recovers from loss. I don't know how he recovers. I don't know how he processes being betrayed. Kind of a betrayal, unfortunately.
You had such a great idea the last time we talked about this.
Oh.
You said it would have been really cool if, like, the next time Iron Banner rolls around.
Oh, the tower's just his space is just empty.
His space is either empty or like he turns around and he won't talk to us. That was beautiful. That would have been so.
I'd feel so awkward picking up my bounties to a turn back. I'm like, we are gelling these as soon as we get home.
Like he just has, like he sets out a table in front of him or something where you can pick up your bounties. But he doesn't want to talk to you. He's just like, whatever, grab whatever you're here for. I don't care right now.
Very interesting. I could imagine he would be in deep thought. So I think that is something that's going to be weaponized against him. Is it like I said, just like the Sand People killing his mom? I'm gonna go massacre a village. What? Why? You know, like everything he did was not. I mean, he is a brave person, but he's demonstrably heroic only for those he loves. Like, life-threateningly throw myself into danger levels of reckless just for the people he loves. And wow.
Yeah.
So, Lord Saladin seems like I feel like somebody who knows him really well should just give him a hug.
Yeah. I guess at this point that would be either us or Aphrodite.
I miss Aphrodite so much.
Oh,
please do. This courtyard is ass. Everybody around me has wish embers. Jeez.
Yeah, 'cause they're the
only two that what?
That I know of. They're the only two Iron Banner or Iron Lords left, and we're an honorary.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought Shiro was like a lieutenant, or like he was like a runner-up for
Yeah, like he's not Iron Lord.
And I'm sorry, brother Vance. You gonna have to work on the website or something. I don't know what to say. You have to work on the. Yeah, he's gonna have to work because He called it. He's like, I can't do this. You know? I had a purpose. Ouch. Alright, I got a question. Why are we still here? I feel like we knocked out the champions, but we're just distracted by the ads at this point, and you know how Taken are. I'm gonna go forward a bit. Is that you up there?
No.
That thing followed me all the way over here. I drove a thing. I wish every enemy did what champions did. They obviously have really, really aggressive AI. That thing followed me all around. That thing followed me around a corner, and I was on my Sparrow. They giving Jason powers
Thank you.
to the milk containers. I saw.
You can just run past that thing. I really don't care about
I
that
saw
thing.
a article that was showing that there's like a Stephen King drink.
A Stephen King drink?
Like, you know, he had a he had a
Yourself.
favorite. He had a favorite drink. I thought it was just a sideways reference.
Oof.
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta hit this app. It's killing me. You ever just do all the things and then you just have no idea what weapon to use? Oh, you hate to see these forced world problems, don't you, dear? Or you're carrying too many weapons? Well, there's something called the
Yeah.
vault, sir. Alright, alright. I see you.
We just swiped.
We what?
We just swiped.
Our light got wiped away?
We all died. Yes, we died.
So we're doo-doo? I'm not doing that. I am not involuntarily being wiped away. I say we take out this dude first. Everything else is overload, but I'm not using my bow. So you, do you have something overload on you?
I don't think I have anything.
If you
Let me
don't, I'll
double
just
check.
equip my whispering slab. Because
Okay.
no, you shouldn't. I feel like you unconsciously got that scream from this game. I just died and heard. "Ah!" So one of y'all are learning from each other. One of you are learning
Maybe.
from each other. That's all I'm gonna say. I just heard. "Ah!" I said, "Oh, jeez." Well, clearly one of these guardians is Jessica. She brought some of the old memes with her. Oh, thank you. I needed the silence to be so thick that I could hit it with my fork, and I just did. I'm gonna eat it. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Ah, you're playing on Nightfall. It's all good. I just like teasing you. I know this is a foregone conclusion. Did our man Paul say anything this week? Tassie on the
Tassie?
inside.
He did say something this week. I think he was he talked about the 5 exotics you need to get.
Yeah, because of the location shutdowns.
5 exotics you need to
Like
get.
Last Word
before
and
they do
Last
that.
Word, Out Big Prime, I think are attached to it. Isn't there something else that you get here specifically?
Whisper
Yes!
the
There you go, Whisper. Whisper happened, yeah.
Yeah, I have not done
Lucky
it
you.
myself.
Whenever you want to do it, we can do it. I feel really good about that mission. It's like what you've played before, except it's slightly harder. Like the, like when they're chasing somebody or when they're navigating or It's got like weird elements in it that are difficult, but it's mostly navigation. So
Okay.
it's navigation and then a big bombastic boss fight at the end, but the navigation is across like really thin platforms and every other drop is a death drop. i.e. the best kind of raid that perfectly suits not only your skill set, but one that, with enough practice, you can learn to not be mad at. I feel like all of the
Oh,
rocks
okay.
in the Whisper are made of grease. Really, like my favorite playthrough with that thing was like the Hunter, and for some reason I think it's because they don't slide when they hit the ground. There's always a bit of slide in Destiny when you land. I think that's what gets you. When you guys get to floof, you just get to skip whole gaps altogether. I hate watching it. Saw a Dawnblade jump halfway through a chasm. I'm like, you could have used that grenade on an enemy. See, man, okay, I'm talking about resources over here. Save me. Save me from being the Destiny dad, please. My ghost is turned and just looking at me like, not like this. This is not it. Run. The one season they bring back the Dark Drinker and the Boltcaster, and they increase the flinch. Cheers.
Crazy.
It's alright. It's alright. We got this. I should be using the thing that makes blights.
Oh yeah, the Wither Horde. Maybe I should use that.
Yeah, it's really good, especially on Taken. It does bonus damage to Taken, so if you do have a sword or you do have, a boss in front of you that's Taken, you can get pretty far with that thing. I really like that gun, especially in Crucible. It's a good sword, Nick. Are you okay over there?
Oh man, this is not. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. So, what else was there? What's going on today? Oh, so did you hear that Twitch Prime is now Prime Gaming?
Okay. Okay. They rebranded?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And basically, you're getting like, they're kind of bundling it even more with with Prime subscription.
Well, I think Amazon's been doing that a lot lately because I can tell you from just experience that I've had Amazon Prime for almost 4 years now, and I'm pretty sure I'm off by a year or two. And I bought it and continue to use it exclusively for the free shipping and the one-day shipping. Amazon really, really tries to actively remind you that you have access to music and movies and Whole Foods and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And every time, it's not my fault. Every time I go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I should totally do that the next time I think about doing one of these things, and then I never do it. I'm sorry, Amazon. I still pay.
Well,
For my
when
subscription.
you go to Whole Foods, you
I can't
get
quit you. I
discounts.
mean, that's got to be worth something, right? I can't quit you. I just keep forgetting that people actually play music through Amazon Music.
That's true, and like Audible, apparently you can get like free audio.
Yes. Was it like once a month? I think you get like one
Yeah.
free one a month.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really. I mean, if I'm gonna read books, I'm gonna read a book. I'm not gonna listen to a book. I know some people are really into that though. Like a lot of people really get into audiobooks. I am not one of those people.
I'm not that kind of person, but I would definitely take it under like one context, which is like the context that, like when they got Neil Gaiman to read Sandman, or when they get like or Will Wheaton to do Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If it's like a person that can put a unique twist on how the story is told or just how it sounds, I can go for that. But yeah, I think if I wanted to reread a book, I actually wouldn't mind it as an audiobook. But anything other than that, like, I gotta
Yeah, that's
form my ideas in my brain. Like the way Tyrion looks in the book,
yeah.
man. If Tyrion looked like Peter Dinklage in A Song of Ice and Fire, yeah, both of their lives would be so drastically different. Because when Peter Dinklage
Yeah.
is embittered about people just
If
making fun of his
Tyrion-
looks, I kind of get the, well, yeah, you know, making fun of people isn't nice, and you've done a lot of heroic deeds. This is kind of not fair to you. So looking at him in the book and going, I mean, you can't. And then nobody said you couldn't walk around with a paper bag everywhere. I mean, it's not physically impossible.
You know, that's so interesting. I mean, in the book, he's just a completely different character.
He's
You know,
eroded.
You can tell. Like, just in retrospect, you can definitely tell that these characters started out somewhere and they ended somewhere else completely. Primarily because of the actors and because of, you know, expectations the fans had.
That the people knew were valid, because if they even dared suggest it,
Yeah.
they would be referencing page 338, paragraph 2, line 18, and blowing your face up, because Game of Thrones as a novel does not play structurally. They knew better.
Game of Thrones as a novel, the George R. R. Martin doesn't play.
ridiculous.
Okay, he's all about that structure and character life. And he brought up something really interesting on this video I watched with him recently, where, you know, there's so much content, you know, and one thing that has been affected drastically is the fact that when people watch shows, especially shows like Game of Thrones or like The Walking Dead, or shows that have kind of been structured to surprise you in certain ways.
Yeah.
You know, like in The Walking Dead, anyone can die at any time.
That's not. Yeah. That's also not the same kind of show that like would play out the death.
Yeah. And Game of Thrones, it was a little bit like that at first. But George R. R. Martin can afford to do that in his
That's really
book.
funny. He has as
because-
many pages as he needs to finish what he's doing. He doesn't have a limit in his
Yeah,
format.
Like he can just roll with as many characters as he wants, and the show condensed a lot of that.
It did.
It took out whole characters. It took out
all
whole
the magic.
storylines. It, like, yeah, all the really fantastic stuff it took out. Took out all the crazy, like they're all wards. They can all pretty much, as far as we know, John's a ward, Arya's a ward.
Wasn't Bran, of course.
Bran, of course, is a ward. We don't know yet with Sansa, but I'm pretty sure she's got something going. I
Like
don't
Princess
know what-
Leia, somebody's gonna push her out a window and she's gonna like fly.
Yeah, like something's gonna happen with so, I mean, there were so many changes in the book, and the show was all about, oh, we're gonna surprise you with all this, oh, we're gonna kill people. Killing people's cool, yeah.
See, the problem was that wasn't people didn't have any problem with that approach because of two things. The first thing was respecting the audience, and the second thing was respecting the characters. See, you don't leave a bitter taste in your mouth when you respect the audience's ability to reason who has the best chance of survival, and then shocking them by, you know, maybe getting someone they didn't expect. But that season felt disingenuous and manipulative. And it first started with putting him under, like, they kept fake killing him. They put him under the dumpster and then blatantly
Are you talking about The
Yeah,
Walking
yeah. I
Dead?
was talking about like Glenn is what broke that for the show because they betrayed that by playing up Glenn's death for an entire
Yeah.
season and then doing 2 fake outs and then waiting too long for the payouts. That by the time Glenn's death did roll around, okay, one, it was something we knew was going to happen anyway. So it's not like we were startled that it happened. But the people who watch The Walking Dead have an emotional investment that people who the people who read The Walking Dead don't have the same kind of emotional investment and attachment that the people watching it do. So when Glenn got killed, arguably by a psychopath in the way that he is wont to kill people, everybody got mad at Glenn dying and called it barbaric and unnecessary. When it is shot for shot, page for page out of the book. Even makeup wise. Like it's straight out of the book and people hated it because they felt like Glenn was a guitar. Just plucking on your heartstrings all season. And by the time he did that, I was like, damn it. And now you're gonna torture him.
No, it's straight. That whole scene, the way it played out, was straight out of the comic.
No.
Like,
Pending any, manipulative commercial breaks. Like, oh yeah, he's about to get to Glenn.
yeah.
How's your car insurance? What? My car insurance? They were on their knees. Yeah, so
Yeah, so shows like The Walking Dead, shows like Game of Thrones, they did things where they went out of their way to keep you in suspense,
real suspense.
and AKA subvert your
Thank you.
expectation, and for a long time it was all about that. But George R. R. Martin said, I just want to point out that when I was writing the book, a lot of fans guessed.
The twist for what's it called? The Targaryen?
Guessed the twist. Yeah, and he was like, and they told me, and I had a choice, I had a choice of changing it because I knew well ahead of time.
He has
that
integrity,
certain
though.
people had.
But why are you writing it? You
Yeah,
know?
that's
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah.
headed. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just because somebody guessed where you were headed doesn't mean that the destination isn't worthy. It's a
Or that you need to rewrite it.
You're writing,
Or that you need to just change it ahead of them.
or that you need to, yeah. I'm not reading Game of Thrones because I want to be surprised. Not necessarily. It's nice when there's a twist, but that's not the reason I'm reading it. Otherwise, you could argue that what's his face? M. Night Shyamalan, is the freaking genius. Because all he does is twist and subvert your expectations.
Well,
and
yeah.
whatever.
The twist doesn't suck until it's bad. And that was the problem.
But
His
what I'm
twists were
trying to
breaking his
say is
stories.
The twist doesn't make the
Yeah.
story. The twist is twists are nice, but twists are not the story. Twists do not make you enjoy what you just watched any more or any less. Twist could be, an unexpected destination. But if you do it poorly, i.e., the last episode or the last season of Game of Thrones, yeah, they subverted our expectations. But
It's not even a twist, though.
the way we got there
It doesn't make sense. What's funny is to add to your point, he said that earlier this last year, too. He said that earlier last year.
George R. R. Martin.
Because there was that thing on Reddit where, the Westworld Reddit is apparently just doubles as a Mensa meeting area. because it he found out that because in season 2,
What?
George R. R. Martin found out that because the fans pretty much predicted episode 3 of season 2 note for note, they rewrote the episode. And he kind of got they rewrote the episode and wrote a different conclusion and storyline for it just because the fans got ahead of them. And he was like, I've never liked something like that because when you're writing a story, you're writing it for a particular reason. The story you're crafting, if this show is 10 episodes long, then something from all 10 of those episodes should be either informing something about the story or building to something greater. But if you are not writing it for yourself and you are instead just trying to keep ahead of fans on Reddit who are speculating about your show, then you're no longer writing a story and you're just trying to fool your fans. Like, you're just trying to be ahead of your fans. And if the whole point of the show is to be ahead of your fans, sure. But you're going to ultimately hurt the story with your decisions because anything you do to change it at the last minute is never going to be in service of what you're doing. Like, every time you do that, you're going to fracture the story. So even if they figure it out, that's fine. But is the whole story that you're telling more important than the fact that they figured out one twist?
God damn it.
Yeah, and they didn't communicate that when they changed it. It's like, whoa, unprecedented.
Yeah. I mean, by contrast, I'll admit, everyone, maybe a year or two ago, was obsessed with the Umbrella Academy, and I never caught it. And because season 2 just rolled around, I slowly made my way through the first season. And I gotta tell you, I
said, did you get the hubbub?
I got the hubbub. It's
you
cool.
should revive. They're killing us out here.
Cool. I saw every twist by a mile. I was like, oh, okay, I know.
Is that a show built on
And
its twists?
No,
Okay.
not really. But it does have, like, I mean, it's telling a story. It's really more about the characters than it is about the twist.
Because if it was, then, I mean, that would just destroy the enjoyment of the show. But if it's not, then I guess it can be weak. It may not be satisfying, but at least it's not breaking the story it's trying to tell.
No, it doesn't break the story. And I think the reason it doesn't is because it's specifically written so that it's not about that. Like, I knew every twist they were going to throw at me. But the way they went about it was really interesting. So I didn't really mind. I was like, yeah, this is going to happen. But the path that you took here made sense. And so I don't really mind that I knew exactly where this was going the entire time.
You're not mad at M. Night because he has to put a twist in. You're mad at M. Night because his twists are bad and they break his movies and make them look stupid in hindsight. Rian Johnson's a great writer, but his twists broke Star Wars. And unfortunately, it made J.J. Abrams break Star Wars. Like you were saying about writing around your fans' expectations and like how it breaks your story. Yeah. When J.J. Abrams brought back Palpatine, he pretty much obliterated the entire series. He obliterated all of them. And turned it into Palpatine's movies, pretty much. It was his plan all along, all 9 episodes. He got into power, pretended to be overthrown so he could build something even bigger. All 9 episodes. Palpatine. And everybody he wanted to kill and get out of the way kind of died. He had far more successes than he did failures. It's like everything, and that's what happens. Like they broke the story, they changed a few elements around because they had to at the last minute, and it didn't only destroy itself, but it retrospectively like recontextualized things in ways that are just terrible. terrible. And people don't think like that. Like, it's not like a domino effect of things. You know, like George Lucas to this day cannot fathom or comprehend why people are mad at him for fucking with the Greedo shot. Because it takes an element of Han Solo's character that made him more compelling and answers it for you. And and just says, oh, well, I guess Han Solo's good. That roguish quality is kind of diminished now that I knew he was defending himself. Why did you think that was good?
Yeah.
People are still mad at me for some reason about changing 7 frames on Greedo. For some reason?
I think the very fact that he felt the need to introduce midi-chlorians indicates to us that George Lucas can't help himself but to over-explain.
Yeah, but I mean priorities, though. He didn't explain anything. Han Solo showed his inherent goodness. Piling a little bit more goodness on him didn't do anything. It was just something that George Lucas didn't like and changed in hindsight, which is the worst thing ever. Like, he didn't do it for Han Solo's character, and he didn't do it because it was unclear. Like, when people are arguing the Greedo shot, they're not arguing the bullet. You know, they're going into Han's character and what that means about him. You know, Cassian shot his ally in the neck while hugging him and reassuring him. That immediately told me, yep, woof, this man got some darkness. And also, I better watch my back if we're both in trouble. Like, you know, whether Greedo shot first or not, Han Solo still has a change of heart and fights for the people that he wants to protect. So changing the Greedo thing is just like you just kind of broke something. It doesn't break his character, but it definitely makes him less compelling. And you did it in response to a debate forming around it? Why? You took our debate.
Right? Like, why do that? I would have, if anything, I would have made it even more ambiguous.
Because I mean, I guess he saw it as a flaw, like, you know, the same way if you say to somebody, this isn't really clear, and they get offended because they think it's about their writing ability. You know, he saw that people did not realize right away that Han was good, so he needed to just tweak it a bit. You know, he still shoots him.
Maybe.
But now his head lawnmower man slightly to the right, so you can see that Greedo shot first with his, you know, McClunkies. I mean, McClunky in that language, you don't even want to know what that means. It means what a twist. In
Oh, that's it.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I had to say it. Oh, God. Nobody knows what McClunky means to this day. Not even the dude on Fire Team chat that uses it to say hello. He don't know what that means. If I asked him right now, he wouldn't know what that means. He's like, McClunky means... Total. It's a Cade's word. Total. Okay, clearly we need to do the what's it called? Yo, I shot these goo creatures for what?
A bunch of
An engram and a bunch of Vanguard. We got a GameStop in the Vanguard now?
Yep.
That boss is only worth 1.5 credits.
Like, what? You used to be the manager of a GameStop, weren't you? Let's get that air about you.
I bet.
Oh, man. I watched that movie the other day and I liked it. But yeah, you can't do that. You can't because there's so much connected. It's like a domino effect of craziness. Like Admiral Holdo doing light speed as an attack. It's like, why do we spend all this time shooting at each other when we could just be weaponizing our ships like rockets? Just fly 5 of those things at the Death Star and punch a hole in it. Look what it did to a Star Destroyer. So in the last movie, we had to say it was a 1,000,001 chance. That is That was the it's good. It's a good thing we only brought half of the Dothraki with us moment. Someone off screen was like, "Nah, that's 1,000,000 and 1 chance. You can't do that again." Because he knew. That's a question. If that was possible, why didn't we do it? You know, Yoda calling down Force lightning. Force ghosts can fight people? What are y'all doing there then? Why ain't you helping us? Yoda, cast Thundaga on some of these stormtroopers. Y'all have been able to help this whole time and you used it to burn my books? Yoda! I had a feeling. But it's like, Yoda, you can call down lightning from the sky? Can you hit some stormtroopers with that? Can you come with us? Yo, Anakin, where are you? You come too. Y'all can affect the real world? I didn't know that. You never asked. What? It's been 40 years. Anyway, that is why, because it makes you ask questions you shouldn't ask, and if you have to ask those questions, that's when something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow, we saw that Zavala could throw a Nova bomb. We would go, what? If he could take his power and just what? Like, the fact that we can do it makes sense because we have the agency as the main character to be whatever we want. But Zavala's a Sentinel Titan. Our story detail is mechanical because the game has to be a game. Zavala's detail is a story element. He's a protector, a guardian. Like, it plays into who he is. If he started throwing Nova bombs tomorrow, I'd be like, yo, Zavala, you had Nova bombs this whole time? But yeah.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That's why the best stories, even if you figured it out 10 days ago, like, hey, it's going. You are smart. Good for you. Don't ruin it for anyone else. You know, not everybody's going to be on that crazy level, but you got to have faith in your stuff to just not break it. Would you feel that way? Like if somebody guessed a twist, would you feel like you have to make it less obvious? Or because, I mean, people find these things for all sorts of reasons. And the first thought is, oh, it's because we weren't clever enough. It's like, look at your show. What?
Yeah. No, I mean, I would only feel that way if, I guess it would depend on how I felt about the story overall. Like, if someone guessed my ending, I would be like, that doesn't bother me as much if I know that the way I got there is interesting. I'm kind of like with George R. R. Martin on that one. Like, it's like Hamilton. In Hamilton, you know how it's gonna end because it's right at the beginning of the show. There's a whole song about it. But you're simultaneously hoping it doesn't turn out that way, and you're really interested in what happens to get you there.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
That just means you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, that means that you're invested. Like, you throughout the length of whatever it is that you're watching, a TV show, a movie, a book, you know, you're invested enough so that you are more interested in how you're getting there than in the ending. Hell, I know some people who, you probably heard this before, who they were so invested in Harry Potter that they could not read the last book all the way through without skipping to the end, checking to make sure that everyone ended correctly so that they could then read it and enjoy it. It seems weird to me, but I think that speaks to the relationship that people have
Mm-hmm.
with these characters. You know, the fact that they had to make sure that the story ended in a way that was satisfactory to them so they could have a more enjoyable journey while reading this book.
Could you imagine though the domino
What's
effect
going
of?
on?
Could you imagine though the effect of things that he would have to be aware of to even change a small thing? It's like, why even put yourself through that much stress? He'd have to go back so far, even
No.
through the current book, just to change one. It'd be like it's like game development. Like you change one thing, something like 10 chapters ago just broke, and 3 things in the previous ones, and you don't even know where they are yet because you write thousands of pages, and your head is not even there right now. Like when he writes in his blog about how he's progressing, he talks about them like visiting people
Mm-hmm.
in a town. Like,
Oh yeah, I was hanging out
Yeah.
with John
Oh,
today.
good
He's
lord.
doing all right.
so it's like, can you imagine that? Like, if you were like a social butterfly, just trying to remember what you and John did 9 years ago. No, no, I'm not doing that. Listen, this story is gonna be how it bees. If you figured out some bullet points, good on you. But you have no idea how it's happening. And that's absolutely true because everything that they butchered, I am still very interested to see told in a good way. I'm not offended by the beats. I'm offended about how they were carried out and built upon. You know?
Hopefully, and I'm not being grim. Hopefully, George R. R. Martin will be alive to tell us the full breadth of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Remain vigilant, Guardian. We may never quite be as safe as we think.
Look at this Guardian Ball! I mean, this Shadow Ball.
Oh, the white one, not the big one, not the unusually large one that should be breaking everyone's neck when it hits them, but just bounces off of you like a feather.
And it's just
Oh
floating out
lord,
there.
it's a metaphor for the real traveler. And for some reason, it's got an actual Destiny 2 logo on it. So like,
It's got
yeah, so like the
actual
Bungie
logo.
company party,
Well, it's dropping.
it
very
flew off and never
slowly.
came back, and clearly it landed here.
It's just falling forever now. Oh, okay, it's gone. It's gone. Okay, well, that was fun. um. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just an interesting thing. I don't know that trying to be as surprising as possible with your endings, regardless of what it does to your story, is the best approach. I think we have seen what happens. What? What? It's back. Wow.
The light works in mysterious ways, does it not?
Now I understand how people feel whenever we respawn. What's going on? Are you waiting to LFG with someone?
I was just about to ask you what you wanted to if you wanted to still do that. Because we are witching a bit.
Well,
Yeah, because we are hitting the witching time. So
yeah.
if if you have a bounty left, or if you want to do one more crucible, or if you just want to close out here, I was just waiting for you to finish balling. Yeah,
What I was
while
saying.
while you were
Yeah.
free balling around the tower. Oh God.
Oh yeah, let's do one last crucible match if you need another bounty or two.
I have one, so let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
All the Guardians go to orbit. All the Guardians in orbit. Guardians in orbit. Iron Banner. Power control. She don't like my songs. Looking at me like you're wrong. I'm jumping off. Goodbye, everybody.
What?
Oh, heavens. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I'll write a version of it for like for like your day of work. Oh, Jessica's get at your desk. Don't let me do it. Jessica's at her desk.
I do.
Jessica gets a sneak. She gets some sneak. Taking the nose in the hand. The nose is running to meetings. Listen, I will do it, and then the internet will never be the same. Ah, crud. Okay, there we go. I just love being 1050 again.
Yes. Not particularly. Are you trying to level up your hunter?
I really am. Do you see that light level?
Yeah. Feel like it needs some love.
I mean, it's the lowest.
Sure.
It's the lowest out of all of them. But if I want to do some of the, I think I have the Izzy quest mostly done on this character. I don't like people. I don't like leaving people behind. But I'm in the part of the grind that's basically the what did they call that? Oh, slot leveling. I'm basically slot leveling at this point. At least everything gives pinnacles now. So I'm not just peaking at 1050 like before. But yeah, it's just mostly slot leveling. So I can't have like a 1070 Warlock and then like when I signed in, I was 1060. Yeah, so I don't want a character to be useless, especially with the way some people play raids. But yeah, just doing a little bit of wheel spin. I mean, damn, people, at least add 50 more levels to the season pass. If y'all had added like 50 more levels and put some Ascendant shards on it, I would not have minded that. Because, I mean, this is going to be a long season. And people like Daniel, and to a lesser extent me, have hit level 100 a long time ago. The grind's done. And we've still got like 2.5 months until November. And that's what I mean about the unintended consequences of something they unfortunately had no hand in. It's like, it sucks. It's like, we got it. We got the formula. We got the rollout going. Okay. And everything's going to be on track for Virus. What? So, I mean, for the first time, it is not something that Bungie did or didn't do. This was their show-off season. And
It was. They were trying so hard. They worked so hard.
yeah, and the fates were just... I bet Luke Smith, like, trimmed his beard a little bit. He was so disappointed. Like, he was going to wait until September when Beyond Light was going to come out. But he just, like... He took like a little pair of safety scissors and just did a couple of little, you know, little maintenance snips. He was all sad about it, like. I can imagine it's very heartbreaking for him to not look like his beard is trying to eat his face at the end of every development cycle. I know it truly bothers him, but you know, he can't be looking like that in the middle of the cycle, man. It's like it's bad for morale. So he's got to push his freakish beard deadline back. I'm sorry, I'm convinced at this point. I'm convinced at this point that it's on purpose. It's got to be on purpose. He's just like, I want to simultaneously convey the, you know, the toll of game development and my dedication. But then, you know, when it's like 2 months extra added to your beard timetable, like you saw my face, right? My beard was starting to like have a civil war with my masks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with being Velcro. I didn't have to keep adjusting my mask all day because the beard was like holding it down. I inadvertently invented Velcro between the inside of the mask and my beard. It's terrifying. It should never grow that long. No one beard. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It really shouldn't. Okay, that's why Unreal is still around, but Beard isn't. You notice nobody's using the Beard engine. It was too much. It's too much. The industry was not ready for that yet. Unreal Engine's only on 5 right now. Beard got up to 2.0, and they had to kill it like the electric car. We're not ready. Maybe 2 generations from now, get the Beard engine.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Banner.
This map gives me clench.
What is this map?
It's the one inside Rasputin.
Oh,
Contest
yeah.
begin. Opponent claimed Zone A. Zone C captured. Zone B captured. 2 zones.
I think this came around the time Rise of Iron. Things were getting really Rasputin-y. Yeah, I think that's when this map came out, around Rise of Iron. Because we had been going back and forth between the Cosmodrome and the moon, and, you know, this map just really made sense for all the Rasputin-centric shit we were doing anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, this is a cool map. You used to just see it a lot. Oh, wow, he caught you. I saw that. We used to just see it a lot. We saw it a lot more in Rumble, because it's a really small, concentrated map that people love to run around with shotguns in. So, oh, fuck, stuck on a wall. Butt cheeks. Really? Really, though? Why does this have to happen? I knew that was going to happen. You escape from one person, the other one's farting.
Zone C lost.
The other one. Oh, jeez.
What? Jeebus. They just start shooting at you as soon as they see you. I don't know why I'm not using the 6th coyote, but I should have equipped it.
Zone C captured. You have the advantage. Press on.
I need 2 dodges to feel complete. It gives you 2 dodge charges. And my dodge charges up every 9 seconds, so it definitely gives me expectations.
Behind your lead.
And my dodge makes me invisible, so it's a good get out of jail free card for Crucible. If I'm a gunslinger, I just get more reloads and more knives. Stop doing that! The graviton lance is silly, but it's not busted. I mean, I wouldn't run at somebody using the lance. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't put respect on them.
No. I mean, it's still a scout rifle. Definitely better from a distance. You know? But the last thing on our list for today, I think, is I heard that Jared Leto is. I mean, I didn't know this actually, but this is apparently news for a while. Jared Leto is going to be in the next Tron movie.
Well, yeah.
And I mean,
He's playing the character from Blade Runner so that they can connect the universes.
Oh my god, so funny. I just thought of that.
That's exactly. They're connecting the Blade Runner and Tron universes because they came out around the same time, vying for the same rewards.
Imagine.
Well, I love the fact that another one's coming out at all because I thought Tron Legacy got a really bad shake it didn't deserve for not being as bad as its reputation would have suggested. I mean, I thought it did great for the world building. The soundtrack was incredible. It was very visual. And I mean, to be honest, the original Tron was crafted solely to be visually stimulating and arresting. So the fact that they actually brought it a story and continuity was cool. But everybody wanted it to be something else.
Yeah.
Whatever. But hey, if anything, you know, they can tell an even more compelling story because the internet doesn't get less interesting or nuanced over time. So now we have a lot more allegories for society and world issues and things other than the binary slave master, you know, dynamic of users and what do you call them, like NPCs or AIs. You know, you can go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I'm down. Tron is the kind of story that should adapt with the times anyway, or adapt with technology.
Yeah.
5 minutes remain.
That's true. So that's supposedly still happening. There's a new director attached to it. What's his name?
Advantage is yours.
Oh. Anyway, it was the same director as the what is that Tom Cruise movie, Oblivion, and the new Top Gun movie. You know, whenever that comes out.
Top Gun Maverick? That's all it's called.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
They didn't even give it a number. It's like, no, man, it's about Maverick. Okay, I won't do it. But I love that. I feel like that name is not only to indicate that it's about Maverick, but I feel like it's also reassuring. Because the people making this know that there have been a lot of franchises that have mutated to suit the current climate in one way or another. And that with this movie, it's not really a sequel as much as it is a story about the main character. They're like, look, whatever you're worried about, it's this. I feel like that's a mission statement almost as much as a title. And it's a regressive character development that you can pick at. Because why the heck is Tom Cruise still flying things? So I think that's interesting.
Hey, because we heard about it in the trailer. You know, he could have been all sorts of things, and he's just a captain still. Why, we ask?
I would love to know why. Because whatever discussion we have will apply to the franchise and the character. And protagonists in movies in general. You know, like what makes them change? Is it the fact that they have to change in sequels, or that they have to have grown significantly past what looks like, you know, their greatest moments or their greatest accomplishments or the people that they are when they save the world, or I mean, does every main character need to change drastically or settle down? I mean, if you're really good at something, do you
No,
stop?
but
I'm.
it depends on, that's an interesting question to ask, and I think that the the answer is no. Not every character needs to change, but I think it should be clear to you as the viewer why that's the case. For example, um, one character who decidedly didn't change at all, even though this is a show and not a movie, House. House didn't change at all, and he went through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the show, he was still the same arrogant, egotistical, know-it-all who didn't really care that much about anybody but himself. Um, at the end of the show, he was still that. He didn't grow at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's the tragedy.
But it was clear to you, yeah, like you understood why. Like if they had somehow made him evolve and become this kinder, wiser, much more understanding human, it would have been like, oh, okay, what took him so long? You know? Why? What? Like they would have had to do a whole. They would have had to have told a completely different story than they did. So I think my answer to your question would be the main character does not always need to change. They don't need to evolve. But if they don't, it should be clear why. Why that's the case. It shouldn't just be laziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think it will be. I think just the way that they characterized it alone shows you that they're gonna cross-examine him in a way that isn't. The end goal is not to destroy him. The end goal is to examine and explain him. And I like that. You know, they didn't call it Top Gun, Mavericks, brain tumor, Mavericks loss. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Yes. Top Gun evolution. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we've reached the ending of our rundown, my smart. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay. Okay.
I don't do the outro.
Are you? Okay.
I'm sorry. All right. So you will say 2 words, and then I will finish all of your sentences. So I do agree, and will repeat that it is. Yeah, I think it's the end of the expert playlist tonight. It's on the screen, but sometimes some people light the flame and some people put out the flame, and I'm the only one that can see the episode. I'm killing me. You. Yes. Episode 161 done. Clap back.
Yes.
Thank you for watching, etc. Do not call me Han Brolo, Han Robo, or Han Cholo, because that is not my culture. No, man, Han Cholo is in the other galaxy. Like, come on, we don't all look the same.
Okay.
You're racists, but if you do like even a little bit of what you saw today, and want some more of it, whether in textual form or in the form of some of the best layered memes and snippets to hit the interwebs since Jim Sterling wrote words, not on a script. Do join us at infernalblankets.com. The greatest, my co-op partner here.
Whoa, we you're changing
Connor, my
it up
co
today.
partner here, will tell you where these places are. As she is the technician
Yes, we're
of social interactions and outros, I will give her the floor.
technician. Thank you, thank you.
Social
yes.
distancing agent.
If you enjoyed what you caught here, we're on the Instagrams and Twitters and the Facebooks and the YouTubes and always and especially and Final Penguins. .com.
That can. Verbatim.
Yes.
Don't type in .com and then send me an email saying, hey man, I can't get into the, and it says it's DNS. It's .com. And if that doesn't work, just copy paste it and then just,
Yes.
All that having been said, thank you. It is on the screen. Lean and clean, though the layout will be changing soon. We will see you same bat time. Same bat channel with a new reset in tow. And hopefully, a solstice that is not bereft, not free of bounties, but maybe it has, really fun bounties. Because that armor looks insane. So I have a feeling we're going to be quested out. There's going to be quests on quests on quests. And as long as it's not kill 1,000 things with an exotic grenade launcher, then, I won't have to... Spoiler warning. Listen, I'm not telling you what the failsafe is, okay? Just know that I won't have to do it. But until that day, Wednesday, good night, everybody.